Hi guys, today we're going to take a look at Cobra Bastion for a 500 plus monk. So just yesterday I published Cobra Basement -1 video, and that one I recommend for level 400 plus just because it's a lot easier. This one I recommend 500 plus. Now some people can hunt here from level 400 plus. I know people do hunt here on a monk earlier. However, it's very difficult, and I don't feel right recommending it publicly. However, if you really know what you're doing, you have full best in slot, you really want to push your experience, you can consider coming here a little earlier than 500, but you're taking the risk yourself. So I have an analyzer here for you from just the recent double experience Bewitched event. So this is with no charms, with no praise. This is charms only. I was able to peak at about 7.9 kk raw per hour. This is with full animus, about 1 kk profit per hour, as you can see. Again, no praise, okay? This is just charms and a little bit of animus. So crazy, right? Crazy experience. This was on level 540, obviously with full best in slot, but not tiered. Nothing like that, only like 110 fists. So again, nothing like insane. So anyway, the experience that you can expect here, in my opinion, is somewhere between like 7 to 7.5 kk raw per hour when you first start. This is with charms. Obviously, if you don't have charms, it's going to be lower than that. Expected loot somewhere between 800 to like 1.2 kk, although I think that goes even higher with levels. I think by a slightly higher level, when you're using a little bit less supplies, this can go up to like even 1.5 kk per hour. Overall tier rating, I give it as S tier. It's one of the free S tier spawns at this level, in my opinion. The other one being Cobra Basement, and the other third one being Nagas. So those are, in my opinion, currently the three best respawns in the game. All three of them deserve S tier. Difficulty, I give it about 8 out of 10. It is more difficult than than basement because the pools are much bigger. There's a lot more cobras at once, and also a lot more viziers and scouts. Scouts, especially from attacking you from distance, are actually surprisingly powerful. For the bestiary, 5 hours for assassins, 8 hours for scouts, 12 hours for viziers. So moving on, I recommend level 500 plus. No access quest required. You will need to have ritual flasks, one for every 30 minutes that you're planning to hunt here. If you don't understand the mechanic about ritual flasks, I encourage you to read up about it. You need to poison the food every 30 minutes exactly, and then cobras will be spawning at 75% health, I believe, which is obviously a massive experience boost. This place can be effectively hunted by monks and knights solo. Definitely very common. Paladins, not so much. Mages, maybe. I know definitely back in the day, mages would hunt like the bottom floor and like the 2 floors above, AoE style. Haven't seen that in a while. I don't know if that's very common anymore. I don't think so, but maybe possible still. Duos and full team hunts hunt here as well pretty regularly. Recommended imbuements, I recommend all standard plus earth protection imbue, highly recommended. This place is difficult, a lot of earth damage. I was taking 29% damage, as you can see, and this was with earth protection active. So yeah, a lot of earth damage. Definitely encourage you to get your earth protection in here. In basement, not so necessary. In bastion, definitely recommended. Recommended weapon type is energy, so your soul mass. Supplies per hour, about 1500 ultimate spirit potions, 6 transcendence potions per hour. For charms, I recommend elemental, so divine wrath on vizier, and then freeze, zap, and flame, whatever on scout assassin. Crit charms are also okay. The difference is not huge, so if you only have like low savage blow, that's also going to be okay. It's going to be a little bit easier due to the extra leech. However, I think it's a little tiny bit less damage, unless you like level 1k, right? If you come here like maybe even like 800. If you come here like level 800, your damage is probably so high that crit charms actually become better than elementals. But at level 500, I still think elementals are a little bit better. For the wheel, I recommend going into the aesthetic quadrant. So either you're going to go for like tier 2 aesthetic with a greater gem if you have one, or you can go for like T1 aesthetic and then pick up some lesser gems around, ideally with some flat hit points, maybe some earth protection. The character you'll see in the video is level 539 monk with 107 fist and 48 magic level. So for the route, actually pretty simple, and also it's irrelevant if you go up the tower or down the tower. So you will see me going from top to bottom. But honestly, it doesn't really matter. I have a lot of friends hunting here. Some friends say that it's better to be going up. Some say it's better going down. So honestly, not a big deal. If you prefer one way or the other, that's fine. Do whatever you like. But I'll draw you out how I've been hunting here recently. So this is level 0. Like this is level. Let me just write it down. This is 0. This I believe is +3, +2, and +1, something like that. I don't remember exactly. Anyway, this is the top floor, okay? So you go in through the staircase right in here. You come out on this floor here. So you go through. I like to stand by this wall here, because this way it's quite easy to catch all the Cobra scouts with the etc and press. You know, you fire off like this, and you basically catch all the scouts. You can also consider standing by this wall here. This makes it a little bit easier for all the monsters to come from there. Up to you. Like I say, I personally like to do the pull by this wall here. Once you've killed that, you go through. You run through the boss here, go to the bathroom and do a pull over there. After you do that, you go down the floor, down the staircase here. This is the Gaffia room. So make sure there's nothing trapped in the north. You definitely want to be using all the monsters. And honestly, kind of what you want to do is you kind of want to run around in this room for a few seconds so that all the monsters from this section below actually come out through the one SQM doorway here. It's a little bit annoying, but yeah, I basically suggest you just run around a bit to give the monsters some time to come out. But once you've finished running around, most of the monsters have come out from these southern rooms. You just wait. You just do a pull somewhere by the wall here, for example, by the staircase, and then you just kill everything off. And then you go down. Now, this is the hardest pull, probably, in my opinion, in this floor. Is the biggest one, so you kind of have to be careful. So you go down here, and you kind of just pull everything out, right? Just have everything chase you a little bit. And then I finish the pull somewhere by the wall here. And like I say, this is the tricky one. This is where you probably want to be using Focus Serenity. Focus Serenity has a 10-minute cooldown. This lap has about a 5-minute duration, so you can usually cast Focus Serenity every 2 laps to do like a double powerful spender. This is where I usually do it. Yeah, this is the biggest room. Anyway, once you've done it, you go through here. You go through this room and you basically do a pull in here. There's a bunch of Cobra scouts here, which are sometimes a little bit tricky to catch with the range, etc. But hopefully you can figure that out. And you can finish either in here, or there's also something I noticed recently. There's like a good place that you can do it by this wall here. And then it's actually kind of easier to catch all the Cobra scouts with your range, etc. But either way, you just finish the pull somewhere here. Then you go down 2 levels and you're back in on the bottom floor. And then you just kind of go through, pull everything out, and you just kite and kill everything. Kite, and finish the pull somewhere in here in this little bottleneck. And then you go off and you restart from scratch. And like I mentioned, you can literally reverse this lap. Some people prefer reversing it. I haven't tried it yet, but I'm going to try it soon. But it doesn't really matter too much. Either way, it's going to work pretty fine. And yeah. Amazing respawn. This is currently the highest raw experience per hour I've been able to do without praise. Very good. Highly recommended. It is quite intense. This is quite a difficult respawn still at this level. I expect this to be the best respawn that we have for a little while. Yeah, I guess I'll just play the video now. If you have any questions, let me know. Happy to answer. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.